SeaWorld is a well-known chain of marine mammal parks, oceanariums, and animal theme parks in the United States. However, SeaWorld's history with orcas have been marked by controversy. Over the years, concerns about the treatment of these highly intelligent and social animals in captivity have risen, creating numerous incidents involving orca aggression amongst themselves and the trainers who enter their pools. But eventually a notorious incident would arise, one that involved trainer Dawn Brancheau and Tilikum the orca, a live orca attack that would change the future of orcas in captivity and generate an outcry for years to come. This is the story of the tragic orca attack on Dawn Brancheau. Dawn Teresa Brancheau was born on April 16, 1969 in Cedar Lake, Indiana. She was the youngest of 6 children. From a young age, Dawn had a strong love for animals, but her love for marine mammals flourished on one occasion. During a family vacation to Orlando, she saw the Shamu show at SeaWorld, which was love at first sight, and it inspired her to become a marine animal trainer. This experience sparked her dream of working with orcas, and she was set on that career alone. Nothing else mattered. Dawn pursued her passion by attending the University of South Carolina, where she earned degrees in psychology and animal behavior. Her education prepared her for a career working closely with marine animals, just as she had dreamed of from a young age. After college, she started her professional journey by first working with dolphins at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. By 1994, Dawn had gained enough experience to get on the big stage, so she joined SeaWorld Orlando. Initially, she began working with otters and sea lions in order to gain invaluable experience with different marine animals so she could move on to orcas. Her dedication and skills quickly stood out, and in 1996, she began working with killer whales as she had always dreamed. That same year, she married Scott Brancheu, a stunt water skier at SeaWorld. Dawn's work with orcas was not only her dream but her passion. She believed in the importance of staying physically fit to handle the demands of working with these large and powerful creatures. She ran marathons, cycled, and lifted weights to stay in top condition. Her dedication to fitness was highlighted when she appeared on NBC affiliate WESH in 2000, discussing how she maintained her physical health to manage the intense nature of her job. In her role at SeaWorld, Dawn played a significant part in revamping the Shamu show, which was a star attraction at the park. The revamp took 2 to 3 years and showcased her leadership and deep understanding of orcas. Her ability to connect with these animals and perform in shows made her a central figure at SeaWorld. She was featured on billboards throughout Orlando, becoming the face of SeaWorld's Shamu show. As a senior trainer, Dawn appeared in many public performances, thrilling audiences with her interactions with the orcas. She was known for her bravery and skill, often acknowledging the risk involved in her work. Her commitment to the animals and her job was evident to everyone who saw her perform. Outside of work, Dawn was a compassionate animal lover. She volunteered at a local animal shelter and cared for a variety of animals at home, including 2 chocolate Labradors, stray ducks, chickens, rabbits, and small birds. Her love for animals extended beyond her work at SeaWorld, reflecting her genuine passion for all creatures. Tilikum, often called Tilly by Dawn, was a male orca who lived much of his life in captivity at SeaWorld Orlando in Florida. He was captured in the wild in November 1983 near Iceland when he was around 2 years old. This capture marked the beginning of his life in marine parks and the beginning of this tragic story. After his capture, Tilikum was kept in a small tank at the Hafnarfjörður Marine Park in Iceland for almost a year. In 1984, he was transferred to the Sealand of the Pacific near Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. There he was placed with 2 older female orcas. These female orcas were often aggressive towards Tilikum, confining him to a small medical pool to protect him from their bullying. Living conditions at Sealand were harsh. The tanks were small and the orcas spent a lot of time in darkness when the park was closed. This stressful environment had a significant impact on Tilikum's well-being. Despite these challenges, Tilikum managed to survive and adapt to his new life, though it was clear that the conditions were far from ideal for such a large and intelligent animal. In January of 1992, Tilikum was moved to SeaWorld Orlando due to concerns about his health and well-being at Sealand. At SeaWorld, Tilikum became a central figure in their orca breeding program, fathering 21 calves over the years. His size and presence made him a popular attraction, and he was featured in many of SeaWorld shows. Tilikum was the largest orca in captivity, measuring 22.5 feet long and weighing about 12,500 pounds. His large pectoral fins were 7 feet long, and his dorsal fin, which was about 6.5 feet tall, had collapsed completely to his left side, a common occurrence in captive orcas due to a lack of space and exercise. Despite his popularity, Tilikum's life in captivity was fraught with difficulties. He was involved in several incidents that raised questions about the ethics of keeping orcas in captivity. The first major incident occurred in 1991 at Sealand of the Pacific, when a trainer named Kelty Byrne fell into the pool and was drowned by Tilikum and 2 female orcas. Tilikum's second involvement in a human fatality occurred in 1999 at SeaWorld Orlando. A man named Daniel P. Dukes, who had trespassed into the park after hours, was found in Tilikum's tank. The exact circumstances of his death remain unclear, but it added to the growing controversy surrounding Tilikum and the treatment of captive orcas. Throughout his time at SeaWorld, Tilikum was part of many public performances, and despite his involvement in many incidents, they kept putting him in shows and trainers in tanks with him during the performances. These shows were designed to entertain and educate visitors, but they also exposed the stress and unnatural conditions that captive orcas faced. Tilikum's aggressive behavior was often attributed to the psychological and physical strain of captivity. On February 24, 2010, Dawn was performing a Dine with Shamu show at SeaWorld Orlando. The special event allowed guests to dine at an open-air restaurant while watching the orcas perform. Dawn was a skilled and experienced trainer who had been working with Tilikum, the largest orca at SeaWorld Orlando, for a long time. During the show, she was at the edge of the pool, lying next to Tilikum on a slide-out platform. As part of their routine, she was rubbing Tilikum's head. Suddenly, Tilikum grabbed her and pulled her into the water. Some witnesses said he grabbed her by her left arm, while others believed he grabbed her by her hair. The incident happened very quickly and caught everyone off guard. Guests and staff watched in horror as Tilikum dragged Brancheu underwater. The killer whale's movements were fast and powerful, making it difficult for anyone to intervene. Employees tried to distract Tilikum by using nets and throwing food into the water, but these efforts were in vain. Tilikum moved from pool to pool within the complex, still holding on to Dawn. Eventually, the staff managed to direct Tilikum to a smaller medical pool. This pool was designed to make it easier to manage the orca during medical examinations and treatments. It took approximately 45 minutes before Tilikum finally released Dawn's body. The autopsy report revealed the extent of the injuries Dawn had suffered. She had passed away from drowning and blunt force trauma. Her spinal cord was severed, and she had multiple fractures, including to her jawbone, ribs, and vertebrae. Her scalp was completely torn off. Her left arm was torn off, and her left knee was dislocated. The incident was a tragic and shocking event, deeply affecting those who witnessed it and the wider community. Dawn Brancheau was buried at the Holy Sepulchre Cemetery in Worth Township, Cook County, Illinois. This attack was a pivotal moment in the discussion about the safety and ethics of keeping orcas in captivity. It raised many questions about the treatment of these intelligent and powerful animals and the risk involved for trainers working closely with them. The incident involving Dawn and Tilikum was far from the first or the last one, and SeaWorld isn't the only park that has had these kinds of tragedies. Over the years, there have been several incidents involving trainers and orcas that have raised concerns, but marine parks haven't done anything about them. In 1999 at SeaWorld Orlando, an orca named Splash caused an incident involving a trainer during a performance. Splash, who had a history of aggressive behavior, dragged the trainer underwater multiple times before finally releasing him. The trainer suffered minor injuries, but the incident raised questions about the safety protocols in place for handling such large and potentially dangerous animals. At SeaWorld San Antonio, an orca named Kai showed aggressive behavior during a training session in 2004. Kai lunged at the trainer, causing the trainer to fall and sustain injuries. On November 15, 2006, at SeaWorld San Diego, Orchid grabbed Tamari's foot, and pulled her underwater during a training session. She was dragged around the pool and held underwater several times before being released. She sustained injuries but survived the ordeal. One significant incident involved a female orca named Kasaka and senior trainer Ken Peters. On November 29, 2006, during a show at SeaWorld San Diego, Kasaka suddenly grabbed Ken's foot and pulled him underwater. She held him down for several seconds before surfacing. This pattern repeated multiple times, with Kasaka diving to the bottom of the tank and Ken managing to come up for air in between. After a harrowing 10 minutes, Ken managed to calm Kasaka and he was able to exit the pool with minor injuries. In a separate incident at SeaWorld San Diego, a trainer was injured by an orca named Ulysses. During a training session in 2006, Ulysses became agitated and hit the trainer with his head, resulting in injuries that required medical attention. Another tragic incident occurred on December 24, 2009, involving a male orca named Quito and a trainer named Alexis Martinez at Laurel Park at Tenerife, Spain, which has close ties with SeaWorld. During a training session, Quito suddenly attacked Alexis, causing severe injuries. In a different type of incident, an orca named Nakai sustained a significant injury at SeaWorld San Diego in 2012. Nakai was found with a large chunk of flesh missing from his jaw. SeaWorld stated that the injury occurred due to Nakai colliding with a part of the pool, but animal rights groups questioned whether it was the result of aggression from another orca. Tilikum was only about 2 years old when he was taken from his family and ocean home. He was immediately sent to a marine park in order to train him for shows. He was severed from his pod and missed a crucial part of growing up as a free orca. The orcas at Sealand performed 8 shows a day, 7 days a week, and Tilikum was often punished by having food withheld from him. After the incident involving Dawn, Tilikum was kept isolated, which affected his health. In his later years, Tilikum's health began to decline. He spent a lot of time floating listlessly in his tank and developed severe health issues. In March 2016, SeaWorld announced that he was suffering from a bacterial infection, likely a lung infection caused by pneumonia. SeaWorld provided medical treatment, but Tilikum's condition worsened over time, and on January 6, 2017, he passed away. The question of whether Tilikum's actions were deliberate remains a topic of debate. Some experts believe that orcas in captivity suffer from stress and psychological issues due to their confined living conditions, leading to aggressive behavior. Tilikum's history of aggression, including the deaths of Kelty Bird and Dawn Brancheau, support this view. Others argue that orcas, being intelligent and social animals, can become frustrated and act out when deprived of their natural behaviors and social structures. Tilikum's life in captivity was marked by isolation, limited space, and a lack of social interaction, all of which could have contributed to his aggressive behavior. The death of Dawn Brancheau had a profound impact on SeaWorld's operations and public perception. SeaWorld faced significant legal and financial challenges, including multiple appeals to resume water performances, which were ultimately denied by various courts. The park's star attraction, the close interaction between trainers and orcas, was seen as fundamental to its business, leading to substantial changes in how shows were conducted. Following the tragedy, SeaWorld made significant changes to its safety practices. One of the first actions was to prohibit trainers from entering the water with orcas during performances. This decision, initially voluntarily, was later reinforced by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA. Unlike previous temporary pauses after trainer injuries, this ban became permanent. SeaWorld contested OSHA's rulings, but eventually chose not to take the case to the Supreme Court by 2014. In August of 2010, OSHA fined SeaWorld $75,000 for 3 safety violations, one of which was directly related to Dawn's death. OSHA accused SeaWorld of willfully endangering its employees, stating that the company showed indifference to employee safety. SeaWorld disputed these findings, calling them unfounded, and arguing that OSHA misunderstood the complexities of marine mammal care. Despite SeaWorld's challenges, in May of 2012, Judge Ken S. Welch sided with OSHA, criticizing SeaWorld's claim of being unaware of the hazards posed by working with orcas. The judge reduced the severity of the fines from willful to serious, acknowledging that while SeaWorld emphasized trainer safety, the procedures in place were ineffective. As part of the court ruling, SeaWorld was required to implement measures to enhance trainer safety. This included using physical barriers during shows to prevent close contact with orcas. Although water performances stopped, trainers still entered the water for certain activities, like medical procedures and relationship-building sessions. SeaWorld explored other safety measures, such as rising pool floors and spare air systems, to possibly resume water interactions in a safer manner. A few years down the road, lawmakers in California and the U.S. House of Representatives proposed legislation to phase out orca captivity. California Coastal Commission also moved to ban orca breeding. In March of 2016, SeaWorld announced it would end its orca breeding program and focus more on rescue operations, partnering with the Humane Society of the United States to combat ocean pollution and other environmental issues. The incident involving Dawn and Tilikum also led to legislative changes regarding the confidentiality of media depicting such incidents. In 2011, Florida passed a law to protect the privacy of families by restricting access to media obtained by public agencies that recorded or depicted a person's death. This law was partly a response to the circumstances of Dawn's passing, where footage and photographs were sought by news organizations but were withheld to respect the family's privacy. Following the controversies and changes in public perception, SeaWorld has made significant changes to its practices regarding orcas. Ending the orca breeding programs means that the orcas currently at SeaWorld will be the last generation to live at the park. Without breeding, the population of captive orcas at SeaWorld will gradually decrease over time as the existing whales live out their natural lives. SeaWorld has shifted away from its traditional theatrical orca shows, which featured trainers performing tricks and stunts with the orcas. Instead, the park has introduced more educational presentations that focus on natural behaviors, biology, and conservation efforts. These new shows aim to provide guests with a deeper understanding of orcas and their environment, rather than purely entertaining performances. SeaWorld continues to care for its orcas, focusing on their health and well-being. The park provides veterinary care, enrichment activities, and mental stimulation to ensure the orcas lead healthy lives. The park is also committed to enhancing the habitats of its orcas. These improvements aim to provide a more naturalistic environment for the whales, with features that mimic their natural surroundings as closely as possible. SeaWorld has increased its efforts in conservation and education. The park now places a stronger emphasis on educating the public about marine life and the importance of conservation. This includes partnerships with conservation organizations, research initiatives, and rescue operations for marine animals in distress. They already have a history of rescuing and rehabilitating marine animals, including dolphins, sea lions, and manatees. While orcas are less frequently rescued due to their size and the complexities involved, SeaWorld's rescue operations will be more focused on them from now on, without stopping their involvement with other animals. By studying the orcas in their care, SeaWorld provides valuable data that can help with the conservation of wild populations. Research topics include orca behavior, physiology, and health, with findings shared with the broader scientific community. As the current generation of orcas ages, SeaWorld will eventually have no orcas in captivity. This marks a significant shift in the park's history and operations. In the meantime, SeaWorld remains committed to providing the best possible care for the orcas in its facilities and to fostering a greater understanding and appreciation of these magnificent animals through its educational programs. The Dawn Brancheau Foundation was established by Dawn's family to honor her memory and continue her legacy. The foundation's mission is to improve the lives of children and animals in need, inspire others to follow their dreams, and promote community service. This organization strives to make a difference in the world, building on the principles and values that Dawn held dear. The primary goal of the Dawn Brancheau Foundation is to continue Dawn's work and passion for helping others, animals, and the environment. The foundation is dedicated to improving the lives of children and animals in need. This involves providing support and resources to underprivileged children and animal welfare organizations. By sharing Dawn's story and her achievements, the foundation encourages people to pursue their passions and dreams, no matter how challenging they might seem. Dawn Brancheau was known for her dedication to marine life and her passion for helping others. During her 15 years as a SeaWorld trainer, she inspired countless individuals with her love for animals and her commitment to conservation. Dawn's legacy is now carried forward through the work of the foundation. The foundation not only focuses on animal welfare and supporting children, but also emphasizes the importance of living life to the fullest, just as Dawn did. Whether it's through small acts of kindness or large-scale community projects, the foundation seeks to make a positive difference in the world. One of the key aspects of the Dawn Brancheau Foundation is its emphasis on inspiring future generations. By sharing Dawn's story and highlighting her achievements, the foundation encourages young people to pursue their dreams and make a positive impact in their communities. The foundation's programs and scholarships aim to support individuals who show a strong commitment to their passions and to helping others. By fostering a sense of purpose and dedication, the foundation hopes to cultivate a new generation of compassionate and driven individuals. Dawn's career was marked by her dedication to marine animals and her ability to inspire others. Her work with orcas was a testament to her hard work, physical fitness, and deep connection with the animals she loved. She left a lasting legacy at SeaWorld, remembered not just for her performances, but for her commitment to the welfare of the animals in her care. Throughout her 15-year career at SeaWorld, Dawn Brancheau exemplified the qualities of a dedicated and passionate animal trainer. Her life and work continue to inspire those who share her love for marine animals and her commitment to their care. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out the next one, shown on screen.